What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Happy Sunday to you. Happy Sunday to you. Listen, let's get into the things of the things. If you watch Traders, I am going to do a Traders review on episodes 1 through 3 later on today. Y'all get a double header tonight because why? I don't have to go to work tomorrow. We'll do Married to Medicine tomorrow, probably early afternoon. I'm supposed to be having a lunch date, but I haven't heard back from the person yet. You know who you are if you're listening in the bushes, okay? Um, but if not, like I said, we're gonna still do Married to Medicine tomorrow. But listen, let's get into it. So this is the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 8, episode 10, I think, episode 9. Listen, let me tell you guys something. I think this was the episode we needed after the 5,000 weeks that we spent in Austin. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think it was a horrible episode. I know some people are gonna be like, it was boring, it was this and it was that. But listen, it wasn't. It really wasn't. And let me do 2 quick things, and then we're gonna get into the things of the things. One, yes, Meek, I'm sure is definitely happy. I haven't talked to her, but I do need to call her. I'm probably call her tomorrow. Hey Amber, why me is handsome? We're gonna get to me, child. Hey, Cross Country Cruiser, what's going on? Quake Simmons, Tam Bryce. Laura, hey, what's up, Star? Now let me say this. Hey, SDK. We are almost at what we need, 500. Remember, we are still building up my backup channel. So this is a members only chat on my main channel, but go over to the ReallyBTV reviews channel. The link is in the chat, and you can chat over there. No problem. I can see everybody's comments. Somebody last week said they missed chatting with the group. I'm only doing this until I can get the channel built up because I really am trying to transition us over there. But until that channel gets monetized, I still got to get my stuff, get my views and stuff. So that's why we're on both channels. But once I get that channel monetized, all of the reviews no, I shouldn't say that. My live chats will probably still be on both channels, but it'll be an open chat on both channels. I'm just trying to get my watch time hours and all that good stuff over there. What's up, Ravine? How you doing, my love? So listen, let's get into this. So this episode tonight, like I said, I thought it was what we needed coming back from Austin. The first scene we got, we saw Sharice, talking to Ashley and Karen, Giselle, but they were telling her what happened down to the Austin. We don't care about none of that. Well, thank you, Amber. Thank you, my love. Ever since I'm on both channels, I appreciate you. I do. The first real scene that we saw was with Karen and her husband. And I'm just gonna tell you, y'all know I love the Grand Don down, but I could care less about this scene. You was mad at him because when you called him to tell him you had calcium built up in your heart, he ain't dropped everything. He told you he was in the bathroom. Did y'all not hear him trying to say you caught me at a bad time? He said timing is everything. I was in the bathroom. I was running late. Kern. She said, well, I don't care. When I call, you're supposed to drop everything. And I just felt like you were very dismissive. I know, Parade. Thank you. As soon as I get them, girl, I'm ready. I said, Karen, I can't give you more than what I just gave you. Moving on to the next scene, because I can't give you more than what I just gave you. Karen, I love you down, but girl. And here's what I have to question about production. You mean to tell me out of all of those scenes, that was the scene you decided to give us 10 minutes of? You mean to tell me you had Sharice, Ashley, and Giselle giving Sharice the whole breakdown of what happened in Austin with Robert and everything, and that conversation wasn't more entertaining than Karen talking to her husband about why he ain't stay on the phone? Thank you, Ravine. Thank you, my love. Ravine says she on both channels too. Like, I'm sorry. I don't mean no harm. Now, I understand that I really feel like this conversation was supposed to be for Karen to lay the foundation for her event. But we spent more time talking about her complaining about that than her talking to him about her event. But neither here nor there. The main event of this episode is Karen's PAVE event, which I think is a great event. And the one thing, people can say a lot of things about Karen. She has been consistent with this cause. A lot of times on these reality shows, we see people do these charity events and stuff like that. And you could tell that they have no connection to that charity. You could tell that it's for the cameras or it's for the moment. And it really ain't that deep. But this goes back to season 1 with Karen. She opened up her story. She told her story. And she has been consistent. I'm not saying she's done a fundraiser every year with this organization, but she clearly has a history with this organization. And for that, I can respect the hell out of what Karen is saying. Karen got going on. But again, the rest of this conversation, child, they could have kept. Next, we have the scene with Mia, G, Juan, and Robin. First of all, I want to say, I think we have seen Juan at more events this season than we have seen in all of the seasons, maybe combined. When we go back to season 1, you remember season 1, Karen, Robin, and Juan weren't even a couple. They were just living in the same house. So I really think we only saw Juan in passing. I remember Juan. I remember Juan went to Monique's house when Monique had the cookout at her house and all the guys were there at her lake house. Don't remember. I remember Juan, I believe Juan came to that, and I could be wrong. Juan might not have been there, but I feel like Juan was there. I think Juan went with Robin to didn't he go to Candace's wedding? Well, hell, he ain't have a job before Amber. His ass still found something else to do. But neither here nor there. I mean, okay, Juan, you won your best behavior, I guess. So we had this cooking class, which I thought was cute. I thought that was a cute idea. I just didn't care about either one of these couples. Mia say, hey, we gotta work on our cooking skills because we don't have no nanny no more. Nanny was the cook and took care of the kids, and child, we ain't got that no more. Then we have Robin and Juan. So Mia decided that she's gonna ask Juan about this situation. Now let's remember, I know for all of us right now, where we sit in January of 2024, we are like, oh my goodness, why are y'all still talking about this? But remember, when Mia is asking Robin about this information, it's still sort of new. Remember, the story didn't come out until after the season wrapped. They didn't even talk about it at the reunion, did they? I feel like this information came out after they filmed the reunion, because remember, didn't Robin have to do like this sit down with Andy after the fact or something like that? Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like this information came out when they were showing the reunion, not while they were filming the reunion. They didn't address the scandal at the reunion, did they? Y'all correct me. I know y'all are gonna tell me if I'm wrong in the chat. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. But I feel like y'all let me know. I'm gonna give y'all a second to tell me. I know SCK know. Y'all tell me. I know Xavier know. Y'all tell me. Thank you. It was after the reunion was filmed. That's what I thought. So remember, thank you. So remember, this was still relatively new information. Thank you, KK, when they were filming this season. Because remember, it came out after the reunion. So everybody was sort of pissed off at Robin because they were like, Robin, you didn't talk about it, blah, 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 blah. So me bringing it up isn't as awkward as it seems now in hindsight, because it's been a year at this point. And we're like, why is she bringing it up? Blah, blah, blah. But remember, a lot of the people felt like, oh, Robin, you kind of got away with one. So I ain't really mad at Mia for bringing it up. I'm really not. I'm not even really mad at Mia for bringing it up. I know it's in the moment it came off like Mia was just being Mia, but I'm mad at Mia for bringing it up because Robin, you got away with one last season. You did. And you actually had Juan there too. Oh yeah, girl, you were supposed to do that. You supposed to do that, Mia. And Juan is still being Juan, and Robin ass is still sitting there like, you just gonna let Mia do the dirty work. And you could tell. Did you see Robin give Mia the look when Mia asked Juan, and Robin kind of did the I said, now either you put me up to this or you was down with it. You was down with it. He did blow it off, but he blew the whole thing off. The fact that Mia is questioning him, you know, Juan don't like being questioned. He doesn't like being questioned, and the fact that Juan was questioning, I mean, Mia was questioning, he wasn't. Oh no, he wasn't feeling that. Then Robin starts talking about this franchise that she's invested in. We saw it posted on her social media and stuff. And listen, from a black woman's empowerment perspective, I hope she does well with it. I hope it is a success. Um, I thought it was interesting that she said, you know, it's a good thing that they're diversifying their portfolios because you never know when things can be taken from you. And I'm in my mind, the way she said it, I feel like she was saying, because I never know when I'm gonna get fired. I never know when I'm gonna get fired. Okay. So you should, you know, that's a great thing. And I don't even think it's a bad thing that you reached out to G, because as much as Mia tried to pretend like she was more than what she ever really was, G absolutely was in the franchise business. He had his family's company that he is no longer a part of. They own multiple franchises and multiple businesses. They have McDonald's. We know they had the Joint. You know, they had all of these franchises. So reaching out to G, not Mia, but reaching out to G really wasn't a bad idea. I really wouldn't have minded seeing a sit down, serious conversation with G and Mia. Because I mean, Mia got to be there, but with G and Robin really sitting down and talking about on a more business sort of oriented conversation, I think that would have been a great conversation. They also bring up the lawyer. I don't want to be insensitive. I really, really, really don't want to be insensitive. But here's what I do want to say. I am confused. Mia, okay. I think part of it is I don't believe Mia's story. But let me just pretend like for right now, I believe the story. Let me just walk down that road that I believe the story. Although I don't. But let me pretend like I do. You mean to tell me that you believe that you're the reason why this lawyer unalived themselves? You believe that you were the sole purpose of the phone call happening that got him disbarred, that caused him to do what he did. And now you're mad at G because you feel like it could have been handled in a much better way. So you're mad at G because of the end result, because it could have been handled better, even though this man stole y'all money. Again, I want to be sensitive. If this story is true, I want to be very sensitive, but I'm confused. Very, very confused. I honestly feel like Mia is using this as an excuse to justify her leaving Gordon. Now that's just me. I just feel like this is an excuse that she has cooked up to justify her leaving Gordon. Now I could be wrong. That's my opinion. Mia, I think Mia is or was scamming. It's about to come out. That's why she's leaving G and doesn't want G to sue his brothers, in my opinion. I just found it to be very interesting because you was all okay. See, here's the thing. Remember when that information first hit the internet? Remember how Mia was going? Mia was the one talking about lawsuits. Mia was the one talking about suing people. how what the family did was illegal and it was this and it was that. Like, that was you, ma'am. And I understand that maybe you calm down. I understand that maybe, y'all talk to a lawyer and I don't know. But we're not gonna sit here and act like G was the only person. And at the end of the day, if things went down the way you said they went down last year at the reunion, see, again, remember, you talked about this at the reunion and made it seem like the family was wrong and did you like, we're not gonna sit here and act like G is in a silo and you were on the sideline saying, no, G, no, no, no. Like, we're not gonna act like that. And so now we're sitting here and you're really playing the martyr role, like, oh, I can't believe he did that. No, no. So that's why I'm just like, I just can't. I can't. I just can't. And again, I'm really trying to be sensitive because I do feel like I'm just trying to be sensitive because I don't want to, if this person really did unalive themselves, but but Mia, you trying to put all that on G and make it seem like G is the only reason. I can't go down that road with you. Anyway, next we have Wendy talking to her mother. Now, Wendy. Oh, my nail broke. Wendy. Don't get me wrong. People going in for elective surgery is still serious. We've seen people pass away from elective surgery. So that ain't I don't care. But I thought, didn't Wendy make it seem like her mama got rushed to the hospital and it was like some sort of an emergency? Am I wrong? Or am I remembering incorrectly? Am I just putting 20 on 10? Do y'all, wasn't it? Didn't Wendy make it seem like her mama got rushed to the emergency room and her brother was calling her when she got off the plane? She didn't make it seem like, well, I knew my mom was going in for some elective surgery and she had some side effects or she had some complications. She made it seem like her mama was just perfectly fine, and the next thing you knew, she got a call saying her mama was on her way to the emergency room. Am I tripping? Okay, I'm not tripping. Y'all in the chat telling me that I'm not tripping. Okay, so Wendy, listen, girl, look, see, this way y'all be going wrong. Y'all don't have to exaggerate shit. All you had to say was, I knew my mom was going into the hospital for an elective procedure. It didn't seem like it was that big of a deal. That's why I still made the trip to Houston. When I got off the plane, my brother told me there had been some complications. Now, I still would have got on a return flight. I never would have left the damn airport. But that's me. I ain't here to judge or question what Wendy did or did not do. I'm just telling you what I would have done, okay? My luggage would have still been in Austin. They would have had to send it back to me because I wouldn't have left the airport. I would have never even went to baggage claim, okay? I would have went straight. Well, no, I probably would have had to go out so I could get to a gate. At least I could get to the counter to buy me another ticket. But wherever the closest customer service was to Delta, American, or whoever else, Spirit, hell, whoever had the next flight leaving out on their way back to DC, that's where I would have been. Okay? But neither here nor there. Wendy mama told us that she had the elective surgery, but she feeling good. So then Wendy went on to tell her mama about what Nneka was accusing her of. Now listen, I'd already told y'all what I think went down, and my opinion ain't changed. Because Wendy mama, you are not convincing. When you said Nneka who, I didn't believe you, Wendy mama. I'm sorry. I did not believe Wendy mama don't know who Nneka is. I don't believe it. I don't. I believe you know exactly who Nneka is, and I believe you did call that girl and cuss her out. Now, I don't believe nothing about no altars and witchcraft. I don't believe that. What's up, Don? Hey, boo. Now, I don't believe that. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't believe that. But I absolutely believe that you called that girl and cussed her out. I believe that. Because when you said Nneka who, I ain't believe you. I believe you knew exactly who she was talking about. You knew who she was talking about. And I'm gonna tell you why you knew who she was talking about. Because that ain't the first time Wendy didn't talk to you about NECA. That ain't the first time. Wendy, let's just assume for a minute. Right. Talking about some what's her name. Let's just assume for a minute that Wendy's version of events is 100% true, which I don't believe. I believe that the truth is somewhere between NECA and Wendy's stories. It's somewhere in that middle road. But you on the wrong channel, Don. You still got a wrench. Right. But I do need to give you a wrench on that channel, though. I do need to. Matter of fact, I do need to give you a wrench on that channel. But this how I know the mama line. Because after they went to pickleball, let's just assume for a minute Wendy was totally blindsided at pickleball and she had absolutely no idea what was going on and what NECA was talking about. You think that I don't believe for 1 minute that Wendy left pickleball and her first phone call wasn't to her mama and her second phone call was to her sister? I don't believe that. Wendy got on the phone and called her mama immediately. So this ain't the first time y'all done talked about NECA. You know who she is, Wendy Mama. You know who she is, Wendy Mama. But then Wendy Mama gave us this whole story about, well, what's her name? I don't want to say her name wrong because I don't want people to think I'm being disrespectful. Lebby, is it Lebby? Well, you know how I feel about Lebby. You know she's like a daughter to me. So when her and the other girl fell out, I called her and I told her, what she tell her about friends becoming enemies or some shit. And yeah, I did tell her that. Wendy Mama, you said more than that. Wendy Mama, you cussed that girl out. Now again, I don't believe that you had nothing to do with no witchcraft and none of that, but you cussed that girl out. You did. You called that girl and you cussed her out. Maybe she forgot Wendy Mama. Oh. she said the shrine, she said the St. Jude's shrine in downtown Baltimore is the only shrine she know about. I said, I know that's right. And again, they are Catholic. I grew up Catholic. I graduated from a shrine. Okay. Where I graduated from in high school, it was a shrine of the Immaculate Conception. We got shrines all over the place when it comes to the Catholic Church. But do I think that Wendy Mama is practicing witchcraft and things of the such? I don't. But do I think that Wendy Mama called NECA and cussed her out? I do. I do. I'm sorry. I do. That's my opinion. Wendy, don't come for me. I ain't trying to talk about your mama, but we know your mama. But we know how your mama ride. Your mama rides hard. Okay, she rides hard for her family. You know she do. You know she do. Hold on, y'all. Let me give Don his wrench, honey. You know what? All right. Okay. Okay. Because I think I gave Tracy her wrench over here too. So yeah. So anyway, with that being said, that's all I got for that, child. That's all I got for that. So then let me make sure. Lose Wendy elective surgery. Call Lebby about losing a friend. Okay. Then we have this scene between Giselle and Grace. So let me tell you something. Again, I know some people are going to be like, "Oh my gosh, this was boring." Da, da, da. I love this scene. I always love the scene where Giselle is just a mama. Because first of all, those girls are entertaining. Okay, so it's Grace. She's on her way to college. I think any mom who has a child going away to college could relate to this moment. She's worried about her daughter leaving. She's doing these bonding activities with her daughter. She takes her daughter to self-defense because she said, listen, you're a girl. You're going to be away from home. And I need to make sure that you can take care of yourself. I thought this was cute. I thought she called the daughter's friend and cursed her out, not NECA. Listen, SCK. I know that's the story she told, and that she may have done that, but I don't believe everything Nneka. Like I said, I believe that the truth is somewhere between Nneka's story and Wendy's story. I do believe Wendy's mama called Nneka. I believe that. I believe after Nneka was out here trying to use Wendy as a storyline, I absolutely believe Wendy mama called Nneka. I do. And I believe she cussed her ass out. I just believe that. Now I could be wrong, but that's my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's my opinion. Right, Don Don. I love how they be low-key getting her together. Yes. So I thought this was a cute scene until the end. When Giselle called that man, that boy toy she got. Look. Did you see that Grace was over it? Grace was over it and Grace wasn't feeling it. Did y'all see that? Grace was over it and Grace wasn't feeling it. She just wasn't. She was over it. She wasn't feeling it. She over that little that boy toy that Giselle running around with, and she wasn't feeling it. She said that she can't wait to go away to school. It is time. Now listen, I'm not going to say that that's any indictment on Giselle. I think that's any child that's ready to go away from home for the first time. Child, it can't get there fast enough. I know for me, it couldn't get there fast enough. Okay. I couldn't leave home to go away to college fast enough. I wasn't afraid. I was nervous, but I wasn't afraid. And I couldn't get away fast enough. And I love both my parents. I love my house. I love my things. But baby, I was ready. I was ready for that experience. I was ready for that adventure in my life. And I feel like that's where Grace is. And again, congratulations. She's halfway through her freshman year. Congratulations. Okay. So then we have Karen's Pave event. Shout out to my girlfriend once again who was at the filming. She was there. I ain't gonna tell y'all who she is, but she was there. I saw her all up and through this scene. We see Mia getting ready, and Mia talking about she's anxious. Let me say this. I have to be very sensitive. It was correct. I agree with you. Correct said that scene with Wendy and her mother was choppy. I agree. And I think that's another reason why it still just don't make sense because I think, and I'm going to put, I hate to say this. I know y'all feel like I'm just always blaming production, but I'm going to put that on production that it seems like they're really trying to push this story. And I think that Wendy's, I agree with you. I think that's why none of the scenes with Wendy makes sense when she's trying to explain it. I even think that's why none of the scenes with Nneka make sense. And I definitely feel like that scene with Wendy's mom, it was not coherent. It wasn't coherent. Oh, wait a minute. I jumped ahead. Hold on. We're not there yet. We got one more scene before we get to Karen's event. My bad. Let me rewind. Put a pin in it. Rewind. Candace and Nneka go to lunch. Now, first of all, let me say this. Remember I told y'all I never did do the video, which I really need to do that video because now I got another restaurant to add to my story. But remember I told y'all a few weeks ago, when El Teddy came up here to visit, he didn't come to visit me. He came up here for something else, but me and him went out to eat while he was here. And we were supposed to go to a restaurant, and I told y'all the experience there made us leave, and I was gonna tell y'all all about it. It was that restaurant. Miss Toya's Creole House. I have heard so many great things about Mrs. Toya's Creole House, and I knew exactly where they were. I knew that was the restaurant before they even showed the name of it. And I feel bad because I really don't like talking down on Black businesses. But honestly, when Keith Lee was talking about all the stuff going on at the Atlanta restaurants, and then when me and El Teddy walked up in there, let me tell y'all the issue. Okay, I'm gonna make it a short version because I'm still gonna do the video. Because now I gotta tell you about where I went to lunch yesterday. Oh, Rose Garden said that restaurant is disgusting. I was disappointed. Oh, okay. Well, let me tell y'all real quick why me and El Teddy left. I never even had the food. Here's why we left. So this is a restaurant that I have been wanting to try. And El Teddy was staying in Silver Spring, Maryland. That's where his hotel was. That restaurant is in Silver Spring. And I had been wanting to go. I said, oh, this is a perfect opportunity for us to go to that restaurant because it's right there near his hotel, right? So I called to make the reservation. So when I called to make the reservation, the lady was like, okay, well, you need to put a credit card down for us to hold a reservation. So, okay, well, I said, all right, no problem. You know, so I gave them my credit card or whatever. And it had to be a credit card. It couldn't be a debit card. It had to be a credit card. At least that's what I remember. I could be wrong, but I feel like I remember it being a credit card. Because I know I used the credit card and not my debit card. So I feel like they told me it had to be a credit card. Then we get there. So she was like, well, there's a cancellation there's a fee. I think it was like a $30 cancellation fee. And there was also a fee for being late. And I was like, well, what's considered late? I think she said it's a 15-minute. After 15 minutes, you got charged if you were late. So, okay. So I said, well, we ain't canceling because they ain't going to charge me $30 to not show up. Okay. So El Teddy and I get there. We weren't late. We was there on time. We sit down to eat. And the food options looked interesting. It was that Creole, so it looked interesting. The prices were a little pricey. For example, for the appetizer, calamari, which calamari is one of my favorite appetizer. I love calamari. I get calamari all the time. So I'm very familiar with the general pricing of calamari. It was like $16. The po' boys were like $20, right? But again, I was like, okay, I've been wanting to come here. I'm gonna try it. It's whatever. El Teddy said, did you see this? I said, did I see what? There's a 20% service fee added to all the checks. Not your gratuity. It wasn't a gratuity. It was a service fee, right? 20% on all checks. Now, I've been in restaurants where you have over a certain number of people. They automatically charge the gratuity or whatever. But it was just me and El Teddy. So I said 20% for all checks. So when our waitress came over, I asked the lady, I said, what does this, and it didn't say gratuity, it said service charge. So I said, what does the service charge cover? Because if you said, oh, that's gratuity, that's just a fancy word for gratuity, I was like, okay, because I normally tip 20%. So I wouldn't have been tripping if it was for the tip, because I tip 20%, right? Generally speaking, I tip. Now, if you give me bad service, I might tip you 15%, but I normally do 20%. She said, I don't really know. So you charging me 20% and you can't tell me why? She said, well, I said, well, how much of it do you get? Right? Oh, well, we get about 5-6%. Wait, what? I said, so wait a minute. Y'all are getting ready to charge me 20% on my bill and I still got to tip you. Yeah, and that's what I say, Chef Don Don. The fact that she didn't know tells me she don't get none of it. I don't feel like she get any of it because you should have been able to tell me off break. Oh, we get 10%. Oh, we get 5%. She was like, I think we get like 5-6%. Ma'am, baby, I said, okay, thank you, right? We looked at each other and we were still kind of sitting there, right? El Teddy was like, well, I was thinking about getting a po' boy. But by the time I ordered a po' boy and they charged me 20%, because I think we wanted a drink too. The drinks were like, $15, give or take. He said, by the time I order a po' boy and a drink, plus the 20%, plus the tip, he said, I'm paying $75 for a sandwich. I said, look, I'm all about supporting Black businesses. I really am. I said, but I ain't no fool either with my money. I said, it's a bunch of restaurants right here. Because where it is in Silver Spring, it's like not a food court, but like a restaurant court, I could say, for lack of a better word. There are a bunch of restaurants right there. There's a Matchbox, there's a Copeland's, not Copeland's, Copper Canyon. And then there's a couple of like a Potbelly, and it's a bunch of restaurants there. Baby, I said, we can go somewhere else. And that's exactly what we did. We got up. I said, and look, before I left, I said, now we're leaving. We've decided we're going to eat somewhere else. I said, you're not going to charge me, right? Because we showed up on time. She said, oh, no, there's no charge. You guys showed up. You're fine. I said, okay. And I made sure they ain't charged my credit card. But I was like, This is fucking ridiculous. And like I said, I'm all here for supporting Black businesses, but baby, I had to go. Right, Red Lobster's right over there too, Bobo. You know exactly where it is. Yeah, Corray. We talking about Miss Toya's. Oh, you went to Miss Toya's? So anyway, I be trying, y'all. That's that I be trying, but that was ridiculous. But wait till I tell y'all about where I went yesterday for brunch and what happened with that. I might do that tomorrow or Tuesday. It looks like we might end up having a snow day, child. We may end up having a snow day on Tuesday. I may have to do it on Tuesday. But anyway, let me get back to this, child. Let me get back. But that's all. But honestly, that conversation wasn't that interesting. I really just wanted to tell y'all about Miss Toya's when I saw that that's where they went to go eat. Basically, we saw Candace went to the doctor to have her mammogram. She had some lumps, but they said they were lipnoids. I hope I said that right. And they're just going to keep an eye on it. And Candace was saying she's nervous about it because, you know, breast cancer runs in her family and she just wants to get them removed if anything that can become cancerous. I see both sides of the coin. I mean, I feel like the doctor has done this. That's what they went to school for. That is what they're trained in. If there was any concern, I feel like they would say we need to remove it. But on the flip side, I also understand Candace being very cautious and Candace being very nervous. So I see both sides of that coin. So anyway, basically they were talking about Wendy and Nneka was like, well, I really don't want to talk about Wendy. I really want to talk about us because, you know, I want us to try to get to know each other. Lip noise. Thank you. You know, Candace is being very cautious. She said, you know, I like Nneka. I want to get to know Nneka, but I also don't want Wendy to feel no kind of way because Wendy is my friend as well. I feel like that's going to end up becoming a problem. I feel like Wendy going to have to make it. I mean, I feel like Candace is going to be put in the middle of that explosion at some point. Even though she's trying to really play the middle. But yeah. All right. Now we get to Curran's event. Again, I thought it was a really nice event, yada, yada, yada. So the one thing I'm going to say is this, and I'm going to be very sensitive. I'm going to be very, very sensitive. But the one thing I want to say is this. When you think about a room full of women, you look at that room full of women, just look at the cast. We have Candace, we have Robin, we have Ashley, we have Karen, who have all admitted to being victims of some sort of SA. Ashley told us it was a family member. Robin said she was in a position where she could not give consent. She said she was a teenager. I'm not sure the details around that. I don't know if it's because she was a minor. I don't know if it's because the person was physically preventing her. I don't know if it's because maybe she was drunk. I don't know. When she said she was not in a position to give consent, Candace said, I didn't even realize it was what it was until I was older. And I think that that's important to explore really briefly because I don't want to hear, the one thing I don't want to hear behind that conversation is uneducated people that's going to be like, what you mean you didn't know? What do you mean you didn't know? I want people to understand, especially, for example, I don't know if this is Candace's story. I'm giving you guys an example. Candace may very well have been a high school student thinking that she got it going on because she's got this older boyfriend, not realizing that this man was a predator that preyed on young girls and she was just one out of many. That is when people say, I did not realize that I was a victim until I got much older. Maybe you feel like as a woman that you can't, somebody puts you in a position where you don't feel like you can say no. And you think, okay, well, I'm nervous. I'm a little apprehensive. I don't really want to do it, but I can't, I let him get this far. I can't say no now. And as an adult, you look back and realize, no, I could have said no. And I wasn't necessarily in that position because that's where I wanted to be. I was sort of forced into that position. So I don't want anybody to be like, what do you mean? What does she mean? She didn't know. There's so many different versions and scenarios where we find ourselves in these positions and not thinking we were, part of it and not realizing until after the fact that we were actually a victim, right? Anyway, but I appreciate all of those ladies for sharing their story. Now, Mia was triggered, right? She talked about the fact that she had a situation happen to her. And again, I want to be very sensitive because I do believe Mia was a victim. Full stop. Full stop. I believe Mia was a victim. However, I shouldn't say however, because there's no however. I believe Mia was a victim, full stop. But I also find it let me not say but, I should say, alternatively, I found it interesting that you made that conversation with Ashley about Jacqueline. Well, that's why I feel like that's why I'm so mean to Jacqueline, because she left me in that position and it was her boyfriend and blah, blah, blah. And I guess I just never. Last season, your issue with Jacqueline was about everything else. It was about you loaning her money. It was about her trying something with her and G, the three of y'all. It was all kinds of things. And I'm not saying she had to tell us her trauma last season. However, you found 500 other reasons to be mad at Jacqueline last season. And at no point in time did you say, listen. You even talked about when Jacqueline hit you over the head with a brick because you wouldn't do her math homework. Like, you told us all kinds of stories. At no point in time did you say, Jacqueline put me in you didn't even have to go deep. You could have said, listen, Jacqueline put me in a bad situation when we were younger, and I just haven't gotten over that yet. Now, maybe you didn't come to that realization until maybe later. I don't know. But I just found it very curious that in that moment, that is that you went there. You could have went so many other places. You went there, Jacqueline. Now, I guess that's the way that they're going to bring Jacqueline back on the show, or that her and Jacqueline are going to sit down and have a conversation and forgive each other and work their friendship out. I don't know. But I just found it very interesting. Right. You feel comfortable enough to take a shower with her? I don't know. Again, do I think she was assaulted? I do. I mean, I believe. I believe she was. Now, was it the situation she described? I don't know. I mean, we know that Mia has been in situations that could absolutely have gotten her in a bad situation. We know she was running the streets. You know, she was in and out of foster care. She was living with strangers. We know she was, scripting. Like, she absolutely could have put herself in a position to be violated. So I believe I believe that part of her story. I just don't know if I believe it has anything to do with Jacqueline. What up, Tracy? Hey, boo. So anyway, that was pretty much the episode. Again, I think it's the episode we needed coming off of Austin. I know some people are going to be like, it was boring, it was this, but I was here for it. I really was okay with it. I'm really not sure where we go with the rest of the season because who has a storyline? I really am sick of NECA and Wendy. I don't care anymore. Like I said, I just don't like the fact that they are pushing forward these negative stereotypes about people who come from the continent of Africa. I don't like that, but I'm over it. I'm over the storyline. I see we're going to have a sit down with Candace and Robin next week. I just don't care about that anymore. I see we're going to be doing more next week with Giselle and her daughter. And we see Karen sitting down with her daughter giving them advice on going away to college. Don't care. Their experience ain't even going to be the same because Raven went to PWI and Grace is going to a HBCU. And I mean, college is college, but some things are just, it ain't the same. It's the same experience. I believe assaulted, but I don't. It was Jackie's fault. She's doing things how to keep Jackie off the show. I don't think this will introduce Jackie back to the show. Okay, got you, Ray. So yeah, I just don't see where we go for the rest of the season, and we only in episode 10, so Lord knows where we're going. But honestly, I just don't see where we go from here. I don't see where we go from here. But moving forward, we'll see what next week brings. Tomorrow night, the Whether You Like It or Not panel will be at the Citadel. It will be at Yocrates' place. So meet me there tomorrow at 8:15-ish, where we can see what the panel has to say about these things. Other than that, I will be back at 10:30 to talk Traders. Do you guys watch Traders? We'll talk about it at 10:30. I'll see y'all at 10:30. Okay. Peace.